Kpop Demon Hunters. You've probably heard of it by now, and if you haven't, what rock have you been sleeping under? But what is it really? Well, it's one of the first big animated features to actually highlight Korean culture, mythology, and of course K-pop. And coming from the same studio that animated the Emoji Movie, which is currently curb-stomping Disney and Pixar, surprisingly.
Okay, come and get me.
But before I dive into any of that, one of my younger viewers left me a couple of comments on my last few videos asking me to include the Turkey military thing and the TTA and TTT. I have absolutely no idea what that actually means, so consider this my best attempt to honor that request, and I am so sorry. But if you have any insight as to what this actually means in the comments, feel free to let me know. And hopefully it's not too problematic. Anyway, that aside. So on the surface, this movie is about a group of K-pop idols who come together to fight demons that are threatening the world, which is probably the most relatable thing I have ever heard in my life. But underneath, it's really a story about finding your place in the world and finding your chosen family, which is something that I really honestly do relate to more than fighting demons. Which I totally do, by the way. Ask anybody that knows me. I mean, I basically built up an entire platform on TikTok and Twitter fighting transphobes and creationists. And if you know anything about those groups, they are truly demonic.
That's the shit I keep telling you, don't share with us.
Yeah.
And you know, that's part of the reason why this movie really appealed to me, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a pretty queer man.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
And I see a lot of myself in this story. I mean, I am watching it in the background after all. I've been watching it nonstop since, like, last month. But enough about me, because we're gonna get more into why I relate to it so heavily, but first I think we need to introduce the characters. Meet Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, or Huntrix as they like to be called, a K-pop girl group by day and demon-slaying heroes by night. Relatable. Rumi, voiced by Arden Cho, with vocals by EJ, is the leader wrestling with a hidden demonic legacy. Relatable. And then Mira, played by Mei Hong and sung by Audrey Nuna, is basically like Daria Morgendorffer if Daria Morgendorffer were a K-pop dancer, like... Tell me I'm wrong. And then, of course, Zoe is brought to life by Ji Young Yu with vocals by Ray Ami. And, I did Google how to say that name, and I'm sorry if I'm still not saying it correctly. My bad. She's the rapper of the group raised in California, because naturally, all Americans know how to rap. I mean, it's just a known fact, and I myself am known for my hit single, Gangsta's Paradise. You might have heard of it. Okay, I gotta take off my headphones because it is seriously distracting. And together they face their biggest threat yet, the Saja Boys, a rival idol group led by Jinu, who honestly is just my type.
I just shoved a nuke up my pussy.
And if we're gonna talk about cartoon crushes, I also have to talk about Bobby because he is honestly like the cutest thing to ever come on my screen in like 20-something years.
Wow, it is catchy.
Yeah, you're right, Zoe. They're amazing, but they suck.
You know?
Like, he's my latest obsession. Like, you know this man would treat you right, right? And he's also voiced by Dr. Yap from Bob's Burgers, which makes him even more attractive for some reason.
You ticklish? You want me to tickle you? You want me to tickle you?
You have a really great relationship with your guitar.
Don't ask me why. I don't know, call me Tina Belcher, but I am about to write an erotic friend fiction. Starring him, and possibly me. Anyway, enough about that before I say too much. There's also Jima, who is the Demon King, who is not Ganondorf, but actually the frontman from Squid Game, and that's kinda cool too.
Don't you idiots know? Once the hunters turn the Holman gold, it's over for us!
I mean, it's no wonder why Kpop Demon Hunters is, like, actually breaking records right now. Between the slick animation, the stacked cast, and then the music that's so good that you know David Bowie is up in heaven, like, jamming out to it. That's actually only depending on who you ask, though, because there are some K-pop stans that are extremely upset about this movie, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later, so, like, hold your popcorn. Now, before we go any further, I do want to say that there are going to be some spoilers, because you really can't talk about this movie without, you know, spoiling some of the story beats. You know, it's just not going to happen. So here's how I'm going to break it down first. First, I'm going to go into the animation, because frankly, I don't know if you know this, but I used to be an animator before I was a paleontologist. Look, here's a fossil megalodon tooth. Do you like it? It's pretty, I know. Too bad you can't have it, it's mine. And frankly, because the animation is really stunning, and that takes a lot for me to say, considering that I generally do not like CGI animation. Then I'm gonna talk about the music, because frankly, that's like worth an entire video all on its own. And then finally, I'm gonna dive into the story itself, along with my own personal reflections, because I'm gay.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, so first of all, the animation is godlike. And it was honestly like the first thing that really stood out to me in the first place. Like, I mean, I've seen the Spider-Man movies by Sony, and frankly, like, you're gonna hate me, especially if you're a comic book fan, but I didn't care for it because I personally just don't care about Spider-Man, but I cannot deny that the animation was actually gorgeous. And it was also an animation style that was then used, I think, in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which I actually adored. So I'm actually a big fan of this animation style, and it's actually helped me rekindle my love for animation. See, like, I come from the world of traditional animation, back before the big switch to CGI, back when every frame felt like that it had a human fingerprint on it. Like, it was magical, okay? And I'll be honest, I opposed that transition to CGI then, and I still kind of do. At least when it's used as a cost-cutting shortcut that sidelines artists who need and deserve the work. Because, like, we can't deny the fact that a lot of CGI is very bland. And, you know, like, a lot of CGI movies just kind of look all the same. Kind of like white people. Because, you know, at the end of the day, animation is built on craft and texture, and on those subtle details that only emerge when real artists pour themselves into every frame, like they do with this movie, frankly. And unfortunately, you just don't see that a whole lot anymore, with even the major studios like Disney and Pixar. Look at Wish. So disappointing. Like, the designs are just so, like, washed out and forgettable, kind of like white people. But you know what? That's kind of what makes Kpop Demon Hunters feel so fresh to me anyway. Because it's vibrant, expressive, and just so deeply rooted in culture. The way it blends animation styles is seamless. Like, you see them, like, just switch into chibi styles as they're, like, showing down, or, like, that one scene where Rumi's, like, I don't know, just, like, deep-throating a that was hilarious. Or, like, that scene where Zoe was, like, crying popcorn, and then Mira's just, like, eating the popcorn, which honestly is, like, so relatable. Like, I love popcorn. It's just super playful, unexpected, and unlike anything I've frankly seen before. And what I also really love is just like how the film pulls from Korean mythology and demonology, just letting that heritage bleed through the screen. Like, did you know that the Saja boys, or the Saja in Korean mythology, are actually basically like the Grim Reapers?
I know you freaking lying.
The characters also just feel so textured and alive, and the settings look like that they really belong in a gallery. Rather than being weighed down by glossy CGI sameness, this animation has real character and depth. What's even more exciting is how it blends influences. Like, you can see the energy of concert lighting, the boldness of editorial photography, the pulse of K-pop music videos, all fused together into something dynamic and fresh, and unlike a lot of modern Disney projects, which can sometimes feel very uniform and formulaic, the characters aren't afraid to look goofy, raw, or even makeup-free. That willingness to embrace imperfection makes them human in every way that Asha from Wish just could ever hope to be.
So I look up at the stars to guide me.
Kpop Demon Hunters really proves that animation can still surprise us, and that it can also be culturally specific, and dare I say, visually daring. Like, for me, it's just a reminder as to why two-dimensional and also experimental animation actually matter, and also why we shouldn't give up on, you know, art just because some forms of CGI are just cheaper and faster. And now we're gonna talk about the music, because that is the major source of why this movie blew up in the first place. I mean, there's a reason why even 2 months later, they're trending #1 on streaming platforms like Spotify, you know, something that Disney hasn't really been able to do since the 90s. Not that Spotify really existed in the 90s, but you know what I mean.
I think the not, you trick-ass bitch.
The songs are produced with the same polish and energy that you would expect from real-world K-pop acts, with composers and producers who clearly understood the assignment. I actually got introduced to the soundtrack before I even saw the film myself, because I was running a STEM program over the summer at a summer camp, which was also super fun. And the kids there, I couldn't get them off their phones, and they were always playing music, and of course, these songs came up. And they came up a lot. And you know, I think the beauty of it too is that like it didn't matter who they were, if they were boys, if they were girls, or anyone in between. The music just slapped, and that is all they cared about. And sometimes I actually did struggle to get them to shut the music off when we had to do the assignment, but you know, I digress.
You're all I can think of, every drop I drink up.
Kids shall be children. Or the children were childrening. You take your pick, I don't care. Like, I'd be in the middle of teaching robotics or something, and then suddenly the room turned into a mini concert. But once I had actually seen the movie, oh, I understood it. And, you know, I actually started some of the jam sessions myself, so, like, you know, there you go. I mean, like, picture me, the responsible adult, blasting Kpop Demon Hunters in the classroom. It was actually amazing. Sorry, parents, but your kids are going home with two things today. A deep understanding of geological deep time, and the ability to scream sing like they're auditioning for BTS. You're welcome. Okay, now the songs themselves are f***ing amazing. Like, there's a reason why Golden is #1 on Spotify right now. Like, it's truly that good. And then Soda Pop is just like that earworm that like crawls in your brain and refuses to leave. But you know, considering that it's Genu and that pink-haired himbo, you know, the one with the abs, not the long-haired one. You know, they can stay in there all they want. Bobby too. And I know I already mentioned Golden before, but Golden slaps. Like, it's bold, it's triumphant, and frankly, it makes you want to move. And that takes a lot coming from a guy who moves on the dance floor like Daria Morgendorfer.
Uh-oh, we've been spotted.
Well, I don't feel like talking to anyone.
Now, if you're still here, I would love for you to drop some dancing lady emojis down in the comments so that I know you're still listening. And also tell me what your favorite song in the movie is while you're at it. Just do as I tell you, twink.
Okay.
To be honest though, the one song that truly really hit me the most was What It Sounds Like. This song doesn't just sound good, it feels like a confession to me. As someone who spent decades lying to hide parts of myself just to make others comfortable, the lyrics just like hit like a punch. It's about dropping the mask, about finally being unapologetic in who you are. And no, being gay is not necessarily a flaw, but I do think being gay made me more aware of the struggles that other marginalized groups face, and I think most queer people can say the same, unless they're gay Republicans. They can all eat shit, because those are the gays that just never learned to truly love themselves, let alone anybody else. And then let's also be for real, that's why the theme of chosen family like resonates so strongly with me too, and why this song, placed right at the emotional core of the film, lands so hard. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way about the soundtrack, because fans collectively all over the internet are losing their minds. Like, scroll TikTok for like 5 minutes, you're probably gonna find at least 100 different videos of people reacting or dancing or like lip-syncing to these songs. It's like actually kind of ridiculous, but I love it. Not everybody's loving it though, because there are some K-pop fans that feel that the fictional group overshadows real K-pop idols, especially BTS. Like one Reddit user in r/Kpop Uncensored skewered the notion of ranking fictional idols over actual legends. I don't know, they go on to say something like, it's a fictional group, never gonna be real, BTS are coming to take it back, I don't, whatever the f that means. Others lean in even harder, like, this movie will not exist without BTS's impact, and everyone and their mama know that. Like, okay, whatever. I mean, this might be a hot take, but like, how about just let people enjoy things? I mean, like, I guess they're not entirely wrong, because like, Kpop Demon Hunters unquestionably draws inspiration from the entire K-pop machine. But still reducing it to just a knockoff of BTS as well, like, bull-tired f***ing shit, or bull-tired BTS, okay. And honestly, like, while I'm on my high horse, there's an actual high horse who would like to say something.
Well, hey there, Daddy. I'm glad to finally talk to you again, and hello to the audience again. Oh, I've missed y'all. So I watched this film the other day, and honestly, I loved it. I really did. I had a fantastic time. I thought the story was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. It made me so happy. I will happily watch this one again at some point. I do have a couple thoughts, and I am hesitant to voice these at this moment in this time, But you know what? I guess I'll just be brave. Let's go for it. I would like it noted early, K-pop fans, please don't dox me. I would hate that. I would hate that so much, and so would all of your faves. Your faves would also hate that, for sure. The thing about K-pop that has always sort of bugged me just a little teensy tiny bit, but that I will say that I didn't see very much of in this particular movie, is the way that K-pop and the way that K-pop exists and has existed for a while draws a lot on Black American culture, but in a way that, when it's been done over here, didn't necessarily always get the respect it was deserved. But now, of course, on these very light-skinned Asian people, it seems that people become suddenly, instantly very okay with some aesthetics from 30 plus years ago. I don't personally love that. Particularly not the rapping. The rapping part of that bothers me rather a lot because of where rap came from and because of what it means to the culture now. I am certain that there are far smarter people than me that have broken this down somewhere on their platform. I would maybe recommend checking out FD Signifier just in general, because I think that man is fantastic. In my off hours, when I'm not, here, or sucking in a forest, I very frequently watch a lot of makeup and beauty YouTube influencers, and a lot of people are very, very obsessed with Korean skincare and Korean beauty, and for a very long while, a lot of Korean skincare and Korean beauty never considered dark-skinned people because their population doesn't necessarily have as many dark-skinned people. I would like to be clear. I say not as many because they do still have them. This happened a long time ago when I was on a little website known as Picrew, and I got really frustrated. Picrew, I believe, is a Chinese website, and I got kind of upset about like the lack of darker skin color options on some of the avatar options there. And when I posted about that on Twitter, back when it was still called Twitter, that's how long ago this was, someone commented to me, well, you can't expect them to have darker skin options because there aren't any black people there, and they probably haven't seen any black people. I'm gonna say one reason that is absolutely crazy, and I guarantee that you all are going to agree with me that this is kind of a pretty big deal. Beyonce has performed sold-out shows in the country that has made Picrew, and that where people make a lot of Picrews. Beyonce is a black woman. I'm sorry if you didn't know that. Beyonce is a black woman. Megan Thee Stallion has also performed in all of those places as well. So they know what black people look like and that black people exist. It's kind of ignorant and kind of stupid to say that they don't know that black people exist. It is another thing to say that they don't necessarily care that black people exist, or because they don't see them, they don't think about them. I would still call that general blindness and kind of just general ignorance, but fine. Anyway, back to what I was saying about this story. I didn't see a whole lot of that in this story other than a character that is a rapstress, but you know what? Here's the thing, she was good at it, so I'm gonna let that go, because she actually did a very good job, and she's my favorite character aesthetically. I think she's incredible, and I kind of want her to step on me, but whatever. So can half the people in this thing, honestly. Whatever. Anyway, one thing that did bother me is that I personally am a little bit tired of the bean-shaped mouth. I think you all know what I'm talking about. You've all seen it. You know it's happening. You know it's everywhere.
Especially in Pixar, like, everything's been mouth over the last few years. And there actually is a reason for that. When I went to animation school, that was a style that they were actually pushing extremely hard on newer artists. And I don't know why, because, like, shouldn't we all be experimenting our own styles? One of the few reasons why I left animation in favor of science, also money.
The bean-shaped mouth is the exact reason I didn't enjoy the movie Seeing Red. I liked what that movie stood for, and I like the overall story, but there's something about the way that characters are animated now. This specific type of character design does not appeal to me. I'm not saying everything needs to be sharp lines and angular all of the time, but there is something about this particular style that does bother me. It doesn't feel very detailed. Admittedly, the animation style of this movie feels very detailed, but there are moments where people do something cutesy, and then it just goes into this whole thing. And it feels like an attempt at being quirky and relatable, kind of like some of, the company that birthed me. Some of their more recent projects and some of their more recent princesses. I don't love that. I don't think we all need to have the quirky, not like other girls type of character all of the time. I don't know. Like, maybe it is also partially that, like, I'm a little bit partial to stronger design, stronger features. And yes, I'm saying this as a character who has been that very cutesy and simple design, but I was that in the 1930s. I was there early on. I'm not still like that. I'm not still like that now. I was like that back then. I am different now. Animation changes. Animation changes with time. And I know Fossil Daddy can speak to this, being a person who's gone to animation school and was instructed on how to draw and design characters in this style.
Just like I said, I told you.
I would kind of like for this style to move on to whatever the next phase is. I just personally don't love this one. It's fine, it's okay, and also, like, I think this movie is a good example of not necessarily overusing that, but it was present. If you would like to know a little bit more about that topic, I would love to recommend a lovely creator on this platform by the name of Izzy's, who just put out a pilot for an animated project that they've been working on, and I think that pilot was really cool. All that being said, character design was not an issue here. Our girls look so good. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, I love it. What ultimately got me to watch this was seeing and hearing the songs on social media and realizing that I do like them. I do like this music in particular. I do not think that I'm going to like a lot of K-pop overall, but I don't hate that it exists. I just always think that, like, it's important to consider where we take things from and to make sure that we're paying good homage back to the people who created the things. I always think that's important. I'm always going to think that that's important. And at the moment, I think they're doing a better job of that. Megan Thee Stallion is currently about to host a reality show that I believe is combining pop music that has existed in America for a while and pop musicians who have existed in America for a while, remixing their work with upcoming K-pop performers and dancers. And I could not be more excited. That is going to be so cool. So I look forward to this collaboration in the future. I think there's something about that will be really, really fun. I look forward to that immensely. But at this current moment, I'm happy with what we have. I like this movie. I don't necessarily know that I need a sequel, but maybe I would like a full album from this particular girl group. I don't know. I would love to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below.
Thank you, Horace Horsebottom. That was very kind of you to submit that in a very timely fashion. Now, I really don't want to give too much away about the story because, frankly, this is a movie that you just have to experience on your own. And part of the fun of Kpop Demon Hunters is watching how the friendships, betrayals, and family ties unfold, and I'd never want to rob you of that on the first time impact. What I will say, though, is that this is a story about identity and carrying expectations that don't really belong to you, and about finding the courage to live as your full self. Which unfortunately is something that a lot of queer people have to learn the hard way. Again, I'm gonna take these off because they are bothering me. Why do I keep putting them back on? Ugh. And that's why I see pieces of myself in the main characters too. Particularly with Rumi, like the lead singer. Like, I don't know, I relate to her so hard. Okay, so like first of all, Rumi's mother was a friend of her mentor Celine. And her mother died after giving birth to her after, I don't know, like breeding with a demon. Should I say breeding? Is that bad? Okay, I didn't mean breeding. I mean like falling in love with the demon. We actually don't even know that much yet. So like, what am I going on about? Anyway, she had a baby with a demon and that baby happened to be Rumi. But, like unfortunately, Celine does not accept the demon side of Rumi, and that's something that is very, very apparent throughout the entire movie, with the way she tells her to cover up and the way she tells her to hide it from her friends, which is something that I kind of experienced too, not with demons per se, but with my own sexuality. And then Rumi eventually realizes that the only way to truly love and accept herself, she has to step away from, someone that she really loves very dearly, which is something I also had to do with my own family. Not my extended family. I have some really great cousins, and I know some of you watch these videos, so love you. But my more immediate family, they don't necessarily say that they don't accept me for being gay, but, they show it in some of their actions, with the way they tell me to tone it down in front of family, or, just by the way that they vote. Rumi can't help that she has demon marks because she's part demon, and I can't help that I'm a flaming homosexual because I'm gay, like I was constantly being told to behave as if simply being my authentic self or daring to voice an opinion when I was antagonized was somehow controversial. Honestly, if you have family like Celine or like mine, who needs enemies? And if I ever push back, I was always the bad guy. Even when I chose silence, I was also the bad guy, as is, common for the scapegoat. Such as not engaging in a fucking text war that was waged against me. Especially in those family group chats, I just had to, tell them never to add me in those again. And unfortunately, I think a lot of queer people can relate to being the scapegoat for their family's underlying dysfunction. And I'm not, trying to say that Rumi's story is a queer allegory, and I'm not really sure that I'm really comfortable saying that, because I, frankly, don't think so. But it is definitely a story that we can all relate to at the very least. And I know I'm going over some very major, plot details, but I am trying my absolute hardest not to spoil the story, because I know there are still some people that have not seen it who are interested in seeing it, and, you should definitely go see it. And, truthfully, the story does have its flaws, too. It's been done before, but I do think it was really done well here. And I just really love that complicated relationship that the three girls have with each other and how they navigate, their relationships with each other, and this overall theme of chosen family that so many of us queer people, have lived through. And I think that's why so many queer people actually really love this film, because it's our story. And I know I heavily relate because, I am somebody who completely went no contact with their biological family to some extent. And, this is something that Mira's hinted to having gone through too, and I do wonder if there's some underlying queer themes that may be explored in her backstory should there ever be a sequel. And I would really love to see that if that's the case. In the end, I realized that if I wanted to truly see myself and to truly accept and love myself, I had to walk away from my family the way Rumi walked away from Celine. And honestly, it's been the best thing I've ever done. And I think it's probably going to be the best thing that Rumi has ever done. Actually, just by the ending, it kinda was. So what about you? Have you seen Kpop Demon Hunters yet? And if you have, who's your favorite character? What's your favorite song? I need to know all these things. And if you like this video, obviously consider liking and subscribing. Why wouldn't you? Look at me. And you could also consider supporting me on Ko-Fi. Actually, I'm actually running a promo on my Ko-Fi right now where I'm gonna send you an autographed fossil Pokemon card, as well as a handwritten thank you letter and also a real fossil to go with it, but only if it's for the $3 and up patrons. So until next time, Kim Kardashian!